everyone, welcome back to my channel, Woman on a Journey. If you are new here, my name is Emily, and on this channel I talk about all things motherhood, living a healthy lifestyle, homeschool, and faith. So if any of those things interest you, be sure to hit that subscribe button below and click that little bell icon on the side. That'll let you know whenever I post new videos. You can also check me out on social media at A Woman on a Journey blog, and you can visit my blog at awomanonajourney.com. So in this video, I'm going to be sharing with you guys my read aloud choices for 2021-2022 school year. This is a collaboration hosted by Megan over at Pennies and Salt. I love Megan's channel. She is a seasoned homeschool mom. She has 6 kiddos between the ages of 3 and I believe her oldest is 11. So when you're done watching this video, be sure to check out Megan's channel as well as the playlists below with all the other moms sharing their read aloud choices for the upcoming school year. So this is going to be my second year homeschooling my son. He will be entering the first grade come the fall. And so throughout kindergarten, I did not do any chapter book read alouds, except for 2 of them that I were associated with the science curriculum that I kind of put together when we were studying the solar system. And those were very small chapter books, and they still had pictures in it, so there were those early chapter books. But other than that, we didn't really do anything like that. I kind of stuck to picture book read alouds. And now in the summer, we did do one specific one, and it was kind of like my trial to see how he would do with chapter books. And so we have done cuddling up on the couch. We have done mostly the read aloud during breakfast time. And so the first book that I do want to share with you guys, because it is the first chapter book that I kind of introduced to him, and it's called The Secret of the Hidden Scrolls. And so this book, it is a Christian book. I'm going to be showing you a little bit of both Christian and secular books. But this specific book, I really liked it. I saw it on christianbook.com. And I just bought the first 2 of, because I was able to get the first 2 cheaper than I was able to just get 1 book. And so we read through the first book fairly quickly, and my son loved it. Basically, it's about a brother and sister who go to visit their uncle and stay with their uncle while their parents go away, I believe on vacation. They go away somewhere, and so they're staying with a great uncle that they've never really stayed with before, and they're skeptical of it, and then they end up finding out that he's been an archaeologist, and that was his job. That's what he did. And so he has a lot of artifacts and different things in his home. And so basically the kids end up running into his library and finding out these scrolls that he had talked to them about that he was unable to open. And it was only going to be opened by someone special, that it was assigned to be opened by. And so the kids one night end up in the library, they see the scrolls, they accidentally knock it down, and the seal comes off of the scrolls. And so they're shocked because apparently the scroll was never able to be opened. So they're freaking out. Next thing you know, they end up in what they think is a dream, or they're dead. They really don't know what's going on. And so what they end up finding out is that they got caught into the scroll that was the beginning of Genesis. And so they end up being present to witness God announcing light into the world, separating the waters, dry land, the animals, and then eventually Adam and Eve. And the first book goes all the way up to when the serpent lies to them, and then they're basically kicked out of the garden for sinning. And so my son fell in love with it. Like I said, the way they present it is very entertaining. I got looped into it, and I didn't really expect to, but definitely recommend this. So since this was such a hit, and I told you that we already had the second book, I went ahead and got, two more. So I believe it's a series of about, I'm not sure, maybe 9 books or 10 books. And so we'll be going through these, and yeah. The next book that we are going to be going through, this one has less pictures, but I've heard good things about it. It is called The Mouse and the Motorcycle. It sounds familiar. I'm not sure if I myself might have had to read this book when I was in school. So I thought this would be interesting. Like I said, I mostly have done read alouds, either just kind of sitting on the couch or during breakfast time. And because something like this has very few pictures, every so often you'll get a picture, but I think I would just kind of stick to something like this more during breakfast time. So the next book that we're going to be going through is Nate the Great. And this book is basically about his friend Annie, who lost the picture. She wants Nate to help her find it. Nate the Great must get all the facts, ask the right questions, and narrow the list of suspects so he can solve the mystery. So this is a very simple chapter book, basically an early reader's chapter book. So there is pictures. The pictures do have color in them. And so I thought this would be great kind of to start off the school year. So the next book that I want to share with you is Mercy Watson to the Rescue. I actually found out about this book from Megan at Pennies and Salt. And so this book is about Mr. and Mrs. Watson, who have a pig named Mercy. One night, Mercy decides she would like to snuggle up with Mr. and Mrs. Watson. This is not good news for the Watsons' bed, or for the Watsons. This is another kind of starter chapter book. There's lots and lots of pictures in here. And so it's supposed to be a funny and fun book. There's a couple of Mercy Watson books, but I thought I'd just start with this one and see how my son liked it. So this is going to be another one of our read alouds. The last books I want to share with you guys are the Dead Sea Squirrels. I got 2 of these books, and basically the first book goes on to explain that it's the beginning of a series of books also. And it's about a 10-year-old boy named Michael. He and his friend follow Michael's dad over in his archaeological adventures. And so basically they end up sneaking off to these Dead Sea caves. And so they end up finding these 2,000-year-old squirrels who look petrified in a sea of salt. And then so basically what they end up doing is they end up bringing back the squirrels to the US, hidden in their backpacks. And so Michael thinks that they're just cool souvenirs, but they turn out to be something much more. So from what I read, these are Christian books too. They have lessons and character building for children. And so they kind of go through a lot of biblical things and things that the squirrels basically witnessed during the time of Jesus and during all biblical events in the Bible. And so this is a short chapter book too, with some pictures in it. So I tried to kind of ease my son into the chapter books by making sure that what I did get had some kind of pictures in it. Some of these had more pictures than others. I think the one that had the least pictures was the mouse and the motorcycle. But other than that, most of these had pretty good amount of pictures. And so if you're looking for books that you're trying to introduce your child to chapter books, but you don't want to get these, big chapter books or anything. I think that's kind of what made me nervous about going into these chapter books, was I didn't want to spend money on chapter books and then find out that it just wasn't working for us. And there's a lot of great ones out there. I didn't grow up loving reading. Reading is not my passion at all. And so I don't want my son to grow up like that. And so I wanted to kind of stir this love for reading at an early age for him. And in the process, you know, kind of change that aspect for me too, because I read books, you know, that interest me and things like that. But it's not something that, it wasn't something that I really did until after college. I didn't read books for fun at all. And so, like I said, I just want to change that for my son. I don't want him to kind of grow up the way I did and have that mindset. And so I want him to flourish early, but I also don't want to force him into anything. And Megan and a few of the other moms, they do have some great videos and some read alouds that they've done in the past. And it's been interesting because they talk about doing certain crafts during like coloring or Lego building during read aloud time. And for my son, the coloring kind of works. Anything like Lego building or anything that requires more focus, he is not listening to anything I'm saying. So, you know, and I know that they still retain information. They're still retaining language and things like that. But I just didn't feel like for my son specifically, just the way he is, that specifically as far as Lego building or any kind of thing that required him to focus a lot of attention on, he really wouldn't be paying attention. So, but I definitely recommend, you know, if you're introducing it to them, you know, definitely doing something like while they're coloring or while they're having breakfast or lunch. You know, those are great times to do read alouds, and they can still pay attention. You can still even conversate about what you just read in that chapter. I usually don't go more than a chapter unless my son asks me to. And he did ask me with the Dead Sea Scrolls if I can go on to the next chapter. So that's how I knew more that he was ready for it. And so, you know, this is what we're doing. You know, I hope that it gives you some ideas while you're trying to figure out your book list for the new year. All the links for these books will be included in the description below. And if there's any book recommendations that you have, whether they're picture books or chapter books, please leave them in the comments below. I'd love to check them out. I am going to do another video on some picture books that I have bought and will be using as our read aloud time as well. And I will also be doing a video on some bilingual books that we will be working on as well. So be sure to subscribe to my channel if you're not already, and hit that notification bell so that you know when those videos come out. And don't forget to check out the playlist below with everyone's videos. And if you like this video and like to see more videos like this, please give this video a thumbs up. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.